Hey, and welcome to Star Wars 101. In this video, we're going to be talking about the rank of Ranger in the Jedi Order, and how one achieved it. So let's dive in. At around 36,000 BBY, or before the Battle of Yavin, the galaxy's best scientists, priests, and philosophers were taken to the planet Tython in the deep core in pyramid-type ships called Tho-Yor. This was because Force-sensitive species from all over the known galaxy heard the call of the Force from Tython. These intelligent people were brought there to study the newly discovered mystical energy known as the Force, or at the time, Ashla and Bogan, the light and dark. This group of people would eventually become the Jedi Order, determined to keep Ashla and its darker half, Bogan, in balance. For many centuries, they thrived together, erecting temples and monuments to the Force. The Jedi Order, unlike the well-known Jedi Order, did not fully shut out the dark side. Instead, this group of Force sensitives strived to achieve a perfect balance in the Force, between both the light and the dark. However, this so-called balance for some of the Order's members did not only dictate that the members be smack dab in the middle between Ashla and Bogan. Even though that would be the best option, Jedi would try to find their own balance, whether they leaned a bit more towards the light or the dark, but not falling too much to either side. They were also allowed to form certain attachments. A Jedi was not supposed to want or need any unnecessary material possessions, but certain members did have wives, husbands, and children. The weapon of the Jedi Order was a Force-enhanced sword. These weapons, when enhanced by the Force, were extremely strong and sharp. They used swords because even at this stage, the Jedi forebears realized it was a lot easier to wield a weapon that acted as if it was an extension of one's own body. This order built 9 temples all around the planet of Tython. Each of the temples were built around one of the 9 Tho-Yor ships that brought the people to the planet, and every Tho-Yor ship stayed where it had first touched down. At a certain age, Force-sensitive children would make a journey across the planet, visiting each one of these temples. This journey could be traveled in a vehicle or on a beast, but was encouraged to be walked. These children were called journeyers, and during their long treacherous trip, they would try to find their balance while learning different sets of skills from each temple they visited. Along the way, they would sometimes have to face against dangerous birds and beasts, too. A journeyer would try to balance all the skills they learned, trying to become a well-rounded Jedi, but most had 1 or 2 skill sets they would excel at more than the others. The names of the 9 temples were Akarkesh, Anilkesh, Badhai, Maharakesh, Kalith, Padawankesh, Stavkesh, Qui-Gon-Kesh, and Verteep. The Jedi Council was made up of 9 members, the overseers from each of the temples. Akarkesh, or the Temple of Balance, was erected atop a towering pillar-like rock formation. The temple at Akarkesh served as the Order's academy for instilling the ideals of balance in the Force among its students. It also was built beneath the largest of the Tho-Yor ships, which hovered in mid-air above the temple. Anilkesh, or the Temple of Science, was located on the Tals continent of the world of Tython, a large metal structure straddling the cliffs of a massive gorge known as the Chasm. The temple at Anilkesh served as the Order's academy for science and alchemy, and the Tho-Yor ship that first touched down there long before floated gracefully overhead. Badhai, or the Temple of the Arts, was located on the southern coast of Masara, a continent on the world of Tython. A 2-story structure, the temple at Badhai served as the Order's academy for the arts, instructing students in the ways of writing, calligraphy, dancing, drawing, sculpture, cooking, music, and theater. This temple's Tho-Yor ship was buried underneath it. Maharakesh, The Temple of Healing was built in the deep ocean around the Thoyor pyramid ship that had brought the first Force-sensitive pilgrims to the sea. The Jedi who studied at Marrakesh focused on the healing arts, and young Jedi who were completing their great journey across Tython to visit each of the temples learned about healing both with and without the Force there. Kaleeth, or the Temple of Knowledge, was a large stone structure with 4 square towers. The temple at Kaleeth served as a repository of knowledge and wisdom for many generations. This temple was built beneath its floating Thoyor. Padawan Kesh, or the Jedi Academy, was a large stone structure. The temple at Padawan Kesh served as the Order's academy for initiates who had not yet reached the age to become a Padawan. This academy would teach them the basics of the Force until they were old enough. Stav Kesh, the Temple of Martial Arts, was a temple city fashioned from sandstone. Stav Kesh was built on the slopes and peak of a mountain in the Ice Giant Range, a mountain range on Tython's continent of Cato Zakar, and it sat above where the Thoyor pyramid ship that had brought the first pilgrims to the Ice Giants was buried in the mountainside. This temple would teach its students all about combat with and without weapons. Qui-Gon Kesh, or the Temple of Force Skills, was located among the dunes of the Silent Desert on the continent of Thir. The temple known as Qui-Gon Kesh served as the Order's academy for enhancing and improving one's mental and sensory skills with the Force. Verteep, or the Forge, was a metal structure located along the mouth of an active volcano along the Tythos Ridge. A place of study, students learned the ways of the Force through metallurgy and the construction of tools and weapons. This temple's Thoyor floated above and beside the volcano. After their long journey was completed, a Jedi journeyer advancing from the rank of Padawan to the rank of Jedi Ranger would typically create their own sword. A rank within the Jedi Order, Rangers were members who had successfully trained on Tython and were thus eligible to undertake official missions on behalf of the Order. As representatives of the Jedi Council, much like the Jedi Knights, Rangers were the public face of the Order off-world, and were stationed across the settled worlds to prevent conflicts and war. The Hunter-class starfighter was a starfighter designed for interplanetary flight. They were heavily armed and the fastest, most maneuverable ships used by the Jedi Order in the Tython system. Jedi Rangers often used and customized these ships. However, some of the Rangers also used Peacemaker-class cruisers, an ancient type of warship used by Jedi explorers to travel between the worlds of the Tython system. While a Ranger was off in the system patrolling or on a mission for the Council, they would use much of their spare time to practice the skills they learned on their journey, until the day came that they would return to Tython to be elevated to the rank of Jedi Master. So that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think of the journey the Rangers had to endure, and what you think of the Jedi Order in general. And with all that said, have a great day.